I hope you're having a great day. For those of you that don't know me yet, my name's Caden McCook and you're on my new YouTube channel. My whole idea or vision for this channel is just to bring you guys some entertainment through cars or daily life or really anything.
That was a lie, it's all about cars.
But seriously guys, the channel is gonna be mainly about cars, like that's the main focus. But you know, if we find something entertaining along the way, I might go ahead and post it. Anyways, that's just about enough of introducing me and the channel, so let's get straight into the video. Wow! So today we're going to be talking about my $500 clapped out Mazda 3 I bought as a project last year. So a little bit of background information on this car. It is a 2004 Mazda 3 in the beautiful lava orange color. Now this car does have some pros and cons to it, but the best thing I like about the car is that it's orange and it was straight piped when I bought it, so I call it Trump. Now if you don't get that, I get that name because the car is orange like Trump and also a straight pipe, so it had a big mouth. All jokes aside though, I've loved working on this car and just learning as I go. Now the reason I actually ended up getting this car is a little bit of an interesting story. One of my buddies from our local Mazda group made a post on Facebook and he was saying how this car had been running super bad lately. It was vibrating crazy and you know, he honestly just seemed really overwhelmed and discouraged with the car, and he was seriously looking into scrapping it out for metal. And like, I saw that and I just was like, I can't let that happen. So I went ahead and sent him a PM saying, you know, man, don't scrap this thing out. You know, if we can come to a fair price, I'd be willing to take it off your hands and hopefully get back on the road and just restore it to its former glory. After that whole conversation took place, my dad and I actually ended up going out the day after to see the car in person and just check it out. And unfortunately the car was a bit rougher than I hoped it would have been, and you know, it had higher kilometer than I thought, and I actually ended up finding out it had a rebuilt status. So the car really lost value, and like the car had a super bad misfire, and you know, it was just a little bit of a headache. That being said though, I was still interested in the car, so I straight up just asked him like, hey, would you take 500 bucks, man? And he was happy with that. He said, you know, I'm just happy you're taking it off my hands. So my dad and I drove home in it that night. Now we just tinkered around with it a bit that night and tried some new spark plugs in it and coils, and we did a leak down test as well to see what was causing the misfire, and it wasn't any of those things. So I knew I had to pull the motor apart to figure out. I was suspecting it was probably bent valves, but ended up pulling it apart. After pulling it apart, my suspicions were true and the valves were bent, so I actually ended up doing a motor swap on it. Now because I only paid 500 bucks for this car, I wasn't ready to go out and, you know, pay more than what the car was worth for another motor. So I actually ended up using a 2.3 block that I had laying around my garage, and my dad's buddy luckily had a 2.3 head that was good. So I had a good head and a good block, and they actually both had a I think 178,000 kilometers on it, so it was a lot lower than the 300,000 kilometer motor in this. So I ended up slapping that together. You know, I resurfaced the head, made sure it was level, and threw in a new head gasket and swapped the car. It runs really good now, no problems at all. And yeah, anyways, that's enough talking. That's basically the short version of the story about this car. So let's go take a look at the outside and get a bit more in depth with that. This car is the 2.3 liter 4-cylinder 5-speed standard, and I just have it plugged right in because the battery was dead. But other than that, the car runs good, and yeah, no problems. As far as the outside of the car, it does show its age. I mean, it has 300,000 kilometers on it. It Has some scratches, a little bit of rust on the fender, which is pretty normal for these cars. But other than that, I mean, it's a good looking car. I love the color. The speed wing looks really nice, and yeah. Now, as far as mods, the car is pretty stock. I mean, it does have some Tein lowering springs and some 17-inch wheels and some odds and ends. It has LEDs inside. Fenders are rolled. Like I said, it has the Speed3 Wing, and yeah, I mean, it's a cool little car. It's a 5-speed, and yeah. So when I originally bought this car, it actually was straight piped. Out a cork sport system on it, and he deleted the resonator, so it was pretty freaking loud. But I put on a proper exhaust, so right now it has a muffler delete and no primary cat, and that sounds pretty nice. It's nowhere near too loud. It pops about mid-range, and yeah, it's just a really good sounding 4-cylinder. Hey guys, so that's my little clapped out 2004 Mazda 3. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.